Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to this week's Mental Monday. This week I'm delving into something that I've been asked about, and it's not an area of expertise for me, but I wanted to share some resources. First of all, because you guys know I'm all about trying to share good resources and information and just get the good stuff out there, because I feel like a lot of things float around on the internet. So I like to make sure I'm helping float good information out there. And just a positive approach, an ability to have those discussions that most people shy away from and talk about topics that are uncomfortable. Mental health generally isn't a comfortable topic for people. You're not talking about the good or easy or fun parts of life generally when you're talking about mental health stuff. Of course, there is those times, and that's really great, and that's what we work for, right? But you also need to process and work on that stuff. You need to talk about the not so pleasant stuff. So what we're discussing today is eating disorders. And like I said, I'm not an expert in this particular area. I don't specialize in this particular area. My specialty is in applied behavioral analysis. So I did learn about eating disorders. And I do have my own kind of thinking when it comes to eating disorders, as far as what some helpful things might be, what some good ways of approaching it might be, what might be helpful when looking at healing and combating different aspects of it. So before I say my understanding of eating disorders or anything like that, I do want to say I cannot diagnose you. I cannot and will not use this as a way to say, I think you do or do not have this. That, for so many reasons, is not a good approach. And each case is so individual. Each person is so different. There is no possible way without a therapist, a psychologist, somebody that specializes in eating disorders, meeting with you face to face, talking with you, getting to know you, and learning about you. Could they tell you whether or not you have an eating disorder and possibly diagnose you with one? So if you are at all trying to determine if you have one, this is not the video for you. I do not want this video used in that way. And that's also why I'm a little fearful of this, but I also talk about a lot of other things that are conditions also, so I feel like it's fair to share about eating disorders as far as what they are. This is, however, not meant to help you treat or diagnose or determine whether or not you have one. This is simply my understanding of what they are. And I don't have my DSM right in front of me, so this is off textbook. This is what I remember. This is my understanding. This is not in any clinical kind of a way at all. Shifting into what an eating disorder is. So, if you feel like you may have one, you go to a doctor and say, I'm getting a little concerned, there may be something going on, and you explain what's going on. They will look at certain criteria in the DSM, or they have already learned the criteria and they know it, and so they will discuss with you the details of your situation, how you're feeling, things like that, and work with you on that to determine what the source is, what's going on, and see if that is true or not. And each case is going to be different, like I've said. So there are honestly a lot of different versions of an eating disorder that can happen, because from my perspective, the term eating disorder really just means disordered eating. It is an unhealthy relationship with food. And that can look like a lot of different ways. That can manifest itself in so many different variations of unhealthy eating habits that it'd be a really long list if you listed all the different versions of it that could happen. But there are two main ones that are discussed, and two main ones that I know get talked about a lot outside of the mental health world. Inside also, but specifically in like pop culture things, there's a lot of talk about specifically too. And two that people feel like catch their eye and feel like, ooh, maybe that's it. Ooh, maybe this is it. Just by looking at the symptoms. Or the behaviors, I should say. Not symptoms, behaviors. So, the first one is anorexia, specifically anorexia nervosa. Anorexia is a lot of different versions, but anorexia generally looks like not eating very much. Anorexia can also look like over-exercising, an unhealthy body image. Those are just some of the things that pop up with anorexia, and like I said, that's just certain things. That is by no means an exhaustive list of how it can look like. The other one that gets talked about is bulimia, and bulimia is a binge eating disorder. So binge eating specifically means you can shift back and forth between not eating and binge eating, where you overeat and then feel really anxious after, and in order to try to negate everything you just ate, you purge. Like I said, this is not off textbook or anything. Bulimia can also look like over-exercising as well. A lot of the different behaviors within anorexia and bulimia are very close together. While they are two very different things, there are certain aspects of it that do kind of float back and forth, from my understanding, like I said. So those are the two main ones that get talked about. There are also other versions of unhealthy eating habits, of disordered eating, that could go under eating disorders. Whether it's having an unhealthy relationship with food, looking to it for comfort, looking to food as a control mechanism, looking to food as a validation. All of those things would, in my perspective, go under eating disorders and be a part of disordered eating. I will leave resources in the description box of this video. If you are nervous about this, if you feel like you need more information, if you feel like you want to talk to somebody, if you are really worried, or you are worried about somebody else and you want to share good information with them, please look at those resources. And please talk to a professional. I cannot answer through this video whether or not you or whoever you may be getting information for has one. Just like I can't in any of my other videos that I talk about a condition in. That is not the purpose of this video. That is not what this is meant for. And I hope that comes across well. With all of that being said, I hope this helps someone. Like I said, please, please, please check out the resources in the description box. If you have any stories that you would like to share or feel comfortable sharing, please feel free to share in the comments. Please keep the discussion very nice, because I know this can be a very sensitive topic, just like all of the topics I discussed. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it helped somebody. I hope it gave you a little something to think about. If you did enjoy this, please give it a thumbs up and share it. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye!